Hello, in this video I will show you how to copy documents to another object in Salesforce. You can follow these steps with me, then add them to your needs and situation. Visit my website to find related videos on various objects, documents, reports, and dashboard tutorials. Now, follow these simple steps on how to copy documents to another object in Salesforce. So let's get started. The use case. So it is rather common that some Salesforce users might not have the necessary permissions to access all objects. So that means records in Salesforce. You can have the sales department who have sales users with their profile and permissions, and you have finance users, for example. Nevertheless, they still need to have access to some documentation, for example, signed documents. And in this post, I will walk you through the steps to create an automation that will copy these selected files from one object to another. So there's a few logical steps of how this will work. To start with, let's go through the main steps of planning tasks. So you'll have to collect the data from the record, your opportunity, your accounts, your documents, and then loop over the collected document, all the documents that you have on your specific records. So in this case, opportunities. And if there's any documents, we want to link it to the accounts, create a copy. If not, we want to stop there. At the end, as the last step, we want to make sure that the triggering object, the record, for example, opportunity, will be updated, and the new object, for example, the new object where the documents will be, the account, will have the collected records. To achieve this, I built the following automation. So now I'm going to go into details explaining all of these steps, and I will use a scheduled flow to do this. You can always use a trigger flow if you needed to, but for me I find it more easy to just create a scheduled flow that will run once a day. The first step is to create a field to track if a record has been processed. So to do so, I want to make sure that my opportunity object has a field. For example, I'll name it file transfer, that will be checked once my flow will run. This is to minimize the number of records my flow will go through the upcoming days, so it doesn't go through all the records, all the opportunities every single day. My second step, which is now in the flow per se, will be to get the primary object where the document is related to, so in this case the opportunity, and the first condition of the flow is to collect the records. So we want to make sure in this case that the files transferred is false, which is what I created in step 1, and I have a second condition where the envelope status is completed. So in this case, the second criterion for the envelope status is not mandatory. I use it to narrow down the number of records to review. So I could remove it if I wanted to. My next step is to get all the opportunities. So I want to retrieve the opportunity where my original documents are linked to. I want to also get my accounts. So note that I'm using the lookup of my previous step here, look up the opportunity to locate my account. This step is necessary to identify the object where I want to create a copy of my documents. If I want to put it on another object, I would need to basically find the ID where I want to place it. I could use a similar step. Finally, I want to get all my documents that is linked to my original object in step 1. In my case, these are opportunities. So the field link entity ID is the field I will use in Salesforce to store the lookup value of the record to which the document is related to. And note here that I selected to store all the records, because I want to make sure that I will copy all the documents linked to my object, which is the opportunity, to my new object, which is my account. Before I go into the loop and the assignment and basically copying these files, I have a decision where I want to basically make sure that when I get the documents, it is not empty. Because if it's empty, the loop won't proceed, and I should make sure that I just skip those steps. So if in my document, in my previous step, where I check the documents, there is any data, I will continue. That's why if it's null and it's false, so there is something, I will continue with my loop. If it's null, so there is no documents linked to my opportunity, then nothing will happen. And I will go to my next document. So here I created a very simple loop where I want to go over all the documents that I queried on step 5. Now my next step is to create a copy of the new document record. So I have 4 fields that needs to be completed. The content document ID, the ID of the document, which I had originally. The linked entity ID is the location of the new record, which I said it will be on my account. The share type, which is I put V for viewer, and the visibility for all users. So as I go over all the documents, it will reassign it to my account object. Now my last step is to update the triggering record. In this case, the DocuSign ID. And I'll make sure that the custom checkbox field that I created in step 1 will be changed to true. And again, this is and we want to make sure to minimize the number of opportunities, the records that will be filtered in my flow every time it will run, in this case daily. Please note the following. Let's say we want to copy a file name completed document 1 from an opportunity record to an account record. And let's say that the document named the same name completed document 1 is already in the destination location on the account record. When the schedule flow will run, it will go over these documents, and under the above conditions, the flow will skip this step and will not create a duplicate file with the same name. So if you expect to have 2 files, actually you will have 1 and you will probably receive an error message. That's it. Hope you liked it. If you liked the post or video, please click like and subscribe. Thank you.